everyone, welcome to the first episode. Yes, thank you. And we're going to make quite a few episodes in this sort of series.
In a minute.
Well, I don't know, do I? It's serious.
Just a question.
Anyway, the challenge is we're going to try and take just £100.
Just £100.
Yes, just 100.
Nice.
And what we're going to do, we're going to see what we can turn it into, and go from there. Really, we're going to do a bit of a buy and sell, see what we can get up to, see if we can come up with any ideas on the way. And what we'll do, I won't talk about any more. We'll go into the next bit, and I'll see you in a minute.
Hey, what about me?
Not you. Hello. Ignore the quarantine haircut, by the way. It doesn't normally look like this.
Okay.
So I thought I'd start making videos again. I just wanted to say a bit more, interesting. Plus it's quarantine. What else should you do? This video, and we're going to make a whole entire series. Okay, so I'm going to take £100. Yes, 100 Great British pounds. And we're going to see what we can turn it into. I'm going to explain throughout the whole video, how I'm going to do this, how I do it. I've done this quite a few times. It is pretty easy, and you'd be very surprised how much money you can make. So without any more, let's get into it. So, £100. It's a lot of money, and isn't a lot of money at the same time. It's kind of nice on the balance. Everyone can get £100 or has £100, or has something to sell that is close to £100. You're probably thinking, right, what are you going to do? You're going to buy stocks, not £100 a month. You're going to put it all on red. See the channel. What we're going to do, we are going to buy and sell. We're going to go on Facebook Marketplace, and we're going to have a scroll through, see what we can buy, which we think is going for cheap, and see what we can sell. Let's have a look. Okay, so I've gone onto Marketplace here, and Marketplace, it is what it is. There's loads of stuff on there, all local to you. You can change the distance, and you can find literally anything. There's a pink guitar there. But shelves of a bed, some chairs that are free there. You could pick them up and sell them for some money if you wanted to. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up, and it's already there. I'm going to search alloy wheels. I think this is kind of a safer bet. I mean, they're not going to be perfect. They're not going to be brand new. Some of them are a lot of money, but some are. What we're hoping for is to find that are quite cheap. It doesn't matter if they're too dirty. We can clean them up. That's what we're going to do. So just change the price here, because some of them are quite expensive. So if we go 200, plenty of room for negotiation there. We only have £100. Obviously, we're not going to spend that. We're looking to knock some people down. These says they're free. I don't think they are. Am I blind? Nah, they're not so great. Let's have a look. We've got these are coming. You can see all the road rash around the edges. That's not a bad thing. We can clean that up. But I'm not. Right, I found these ones. It says sold because I've messaged the geezer. I'm going to go pick them up. Now they're only 45 quid. They're only 16 inches, so they're not massive. And yes, they are an absolute state. Have a look at them. Then a little bit. You're in Croydon, so it's like a 40-minute drive from me, but they're 45 quid. You cannot complain with that. There's the state of them, but let's go pick them up, and I think we should be able to finish them up and sell them for a little bit of profit, hopefully. But let's go do it now. All that for a clip. Right, we should be outside in about 2 minutes. After all that around trying to get that fucking video done, and it's all good fun and games, in the old YouTube world, trying to get a decent clip. First video, Aiden. You can't be trying all this pro stuff already. But right. I'll film when I get back home. I'm just about to go pick him up. I won't film him, obviously.
and with the old virus as well, he's pretty much just said I'll drop them out the front, and then just just leave the money on the side, and no human contact then or anything, no handshaking, no thank you, nothing. So yeah, I'm just about to put up now, so I'll see you in a minute.
Six and a half hours later.
I'm in love with the coco. I'm in love with the coco. I got it for the Lolo. I'm in love with the coco. I'm in love with the coco. I'm in love with the coco. I got it for the Lolo. Turn up. I'm in love with the coco.
Right, so you've seen what they all look like, starting there's an absolute state. I mean, that is the original one there. We haven't touched that one yet because we're going to show you what to do, but these ones haven't turned out so bad. They're actually not that bad at all. This one's completely black because I thought I was having enough paint to do it all, but we don't, so we're going to live with that. We're not going to see it anyway. A tyre will cover that. But I've done the three. The silver one you saw is what it looks like, all scratched up. So that's why I thought I'd leave this one all disgusting and tatty. So I can take you through the step-by-step process of how to do it if you're going to follow it this way. But yeah, that's these. These are actually pretty good. I'm quite happy with them. You should be able to get 200, I reckon. That's what we're going to list it for anyway. But yeah, let's get started on this one. So first of all, you're going to want to give it a good wash. I mean, they're all going to be dirty, so you want to get all the grease and grime and dirt off them without the dog. He's not helping, but he loves the hose. But yeah, get all the dirt, grease, grime off them, get them as clean as you can, and then you're going to want to give them a dry off. You're going to start off here with the sanding once they're all dried down. Going to start off with, you don't want to do it too coarse. I mean, we're going to start off with 120 grit here. Now, last time I did it way too coarse. I think I did 80. I ended up putting so deep scratches in, I couldn't even, recover from the scratches. So it took me ages. So start off with a bit finer, 120, and you'll be you'll thank yourself later. As you can see, I'm just blitzing through this. On the video anyway, not in real life. In real life, you take your time. Sanding is the most important bit, is the prep. Because if you do leave any scuffs and scars and scratches, trust me, when it comes to paint, it shows up. So, work through all the grains of the sandpaper. I started off with, 120 just here, which I'm doing now. Getting all inside the grooves, all around outside the edges. And then we progress up to 240 and so on. Just dry it all off. And there we go, we're changing over to 240 now. As you can see, I'm just going to get in all the grooves, the grits, the edges, go over the exact same places I did with the last lot, because that 120 is more coarse than the 240, so the 120 would have left some scratches. Now this 240 removes them scratches, and so on. You go all the way up to about 2000. It's a bit tedious, but it gets the job done, and it's what you've got to do, I'm afraid. Right, I've done all that bit of sanding now. I'm just feeling for any scratches and any deeper marks I can feel. I'm just going to go over them with the real fine stuff. So again, I just felt a little bit there. I'm just going to go over it. You want to do this around the entire wheel. And you can see by my hand there's that big notch. I'm going to show you how to fill that up soon. But right now, this is where you want to get all the scratches. Make sure you fill, and it looks like you should be able to fill the scuffs, but trust me, you cannot feel a thing. It is so smooth, and that's what you want it to be all the way around. If you feel anything at all, sand it down with the fine stuff. I'm about to wet sand this now. just so it gets rid of all this fine stuff. Because the paper we're about to use is about 2000 grit, and if you did that dry, the sandpaper just, you know, wears out and dies off, and you have to keep changing bits. So if you do it wet, there you go, 2000 grit. So if you do it wet, the paper lasts longer, and it gets in scratches that are just a bit nicer, you know, leaves a nicer finish. Once you've done your wet sand, you want to come in and dry that off. Make sure all the little fine particles dry off as much as you can. Obviously, this isn't a professional sort of alloy refurb. We're just doing this to make a little bit of money. So do it as best you can. Don't worry too much about, you know, being perfect. Just try your absolute hardest to get them scratches out. I can't stress enough how important it is to get them out. Because trust me, when you come to paint work, I should have showed you actually. The first one I done, it really fucked up. I had to go over it again, waste the paint, sand it again, go through all the fine scratches again, and go through all that sanding again, just for it to come out, you know, near enough perfect. But look, we're showing. I'm just drying this off, and I'll show you around all up that horrible nicks and things we've got to fill up now. So you can see the size of these little things on right on the edge here. That bit there, you know, it's quite deep. I'm not going to be able to get that flush, you know, I'm not going to grind that down or anything, I'm just using sandpaper. But all them scratches you can see there are actually, you know, smooth. You don't get much smoother than that. You can't feel them, you can just see them. So when we come to primer and then paint, it'll completely cover it up. So this is the filler we're going to use. I have no idea if this is the best filler to do. I've used this before when I was doing my own personal wheels, and you know, I thought it worked, and I'm going to do it again. So you get 4 sachets of like the cement stuff. I don't exactly know what it's called. Some of you probably do, I don't. And you get 1 of this hardener bond. Now you should get a little plastic card, which is like this, and this is what you use to mix it all up on. So you undo 1 of these sachets, if I don't drop the camera. It was quite windy today, so yeah, you know, it's quite hard to film on a little shitty tripod that I've got. So you undo 1 of these sachets. They are quite tough, so you probably use scissors. Don't use your teeth, because if any of that goes in your mouth, you're going to know about it. So yeah, you undo 1 of these, you chuck it on the panel, and then you put a small line of hardener across. Now, as you can see, I was going to film me doing this, but my camera actually ran out of footage, space left before I even knew it was done. So I've done it all, smoothed it all down, and I was going to walk you through it. But now, I've even missed this out. You want to give that a light, I didn't even know I'd done this, this is how new I am. So you want to give that stuff a nice light sanding first. Very, very light, and this is just a coat of primer to go over it. I can't believe I've done that. I've only just noticed that now while I'm editing. Oh well, it's left in there. So yeah, that was the first coat of primer. This is the second coat of primer. Again, you want to go over this two or 3 light coats and then 1 big base coat, just to give it a nice thickness about it. And this is filler as well, so it fills up any tiny cracks that are left. And you can see this bit of a close up. You can see these little tiny cracks slowly filling up. 1 more coat and that'll be it done. But it shows up some little imperfections as well, which again you can sand down. I always do a wet coat of primer after. Wet coat of primer? A wet sanding, sorry, after a thick coat of primer. You can tell I'm not a professional at this. I'm just kind of, you know, going on a whim here and just doing what I've done before. But there we go, that's the last coat there. Now we're going to go over and do some wet sanding on it. It's a bit windy, as you can see. I'm really struggling with the camera here. But it's slowly balanced. This is the 2000 grit again. Just give it a nice wet soapy water is what I was using. Doesn't matter if it's warm or cold. And then again, go over it with the 2000 grit. You don't have to be, you know, sand the granny out of it. Just go over nice and light. Just get rid of them fine scratches out and get it ready for paint. So that's the wet sanding done. basically. I'm just going over a last few touch, anything you can feel. We're going to start doing the first coat of primer again over the scratches that we've done. Just, it doesn't have to be a big coat, just getting rid of, you know, all the bare sort of metal, and then getting ready to go for paint. And hit it from all different angles as well. Make sure you've covered everything, no sort of bare metal exposed, filling up all the little gaps. Okay, first coat of black paint going on. Now I'm doing this, you know, side to side, very light base coat. You can see that's it stopped now, that's the first coat. And boom, light blue Peter, here's one I made earlier. This is about 6 coats in, just finishing up the last bit, getting all the little imperfections done, make sure completely covered. And that's it. As you can see there, it looks much better with that, you know, that filler stuff we've done. Here's the big dent area that was earlier. You're not going to get that perfect, but it looks so much better zoomed out. There we go, it's quite nice actually. Give it a quick couple coats of clear coat lacquer as well, just to stop the paint getting scratched and nicked and any stone chips. And pop the cap in, pretty dirty cap. You can get some new ones, but you know, we're on a budget, we're not doing stuff like that. And that's it. Okay, so it's a pretty long process there. That was done over a couple of days. See, the hair's grown. It was done over a couple of days, few reasons. I just had other stuff to do. The other channel was kicking off, so I had to go with that. Had to take care of a few things, but it's done. It's ready now. I'm going to upload them onto Marketplace, and I'll catch you on the next time. As soon as they're sold, the next video will be made, and you know, we'll see what we do with the profit. Let's see how much we make. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.